Hello, we're from the University of Sydney, and today we'll be talking about how to address the COVID-19 infodemic in Australia. My name is Leora, and I'm from Los Angeles.
I'm Madison and I'm from Adelaide.
I'm Bella and I'm from Cape Town.
My name's Sylvia and I'm from Shanghai.
And I'm Leah and I'm from Toronto. Australia has had one of the world's best responses to COVID-19. However, a big challenge has been the emergence of an infodemic at the same time. An infodemic is the overabundance of news and information, both accurate and inaccurate. And COVID-19 is the first pandemic in history where social media and technology are the main sources of information for people. This has led to mass confusion and inaccuracies around the virus. In 2020, 71% of people reported to avoid news about COVID completely because of the overwhelming amount reported. And as you can see in the graph, social media makes up about 68% of Generation Z's consumption of information surrounding COVID-19, whereas TV news media is the #1 source of information for older generations by far. This highlights the question of the availability of reliable information for adolescents to gather accurate news.
Vaccine hesitancy and the anti-vax movement have also resulted in a great deal of COVID-19 misinformation in Australia. Due to the large scale of the pandemic, the rapid speed of vaccine development, and our highly connected digital world, inconsistencies in messaging and widespread social media usage have led to confusion and apprehension around the globe. Anti-vaccination rhetoric has become more prominent in the Australian mainstream discourse, and increasing numbers of people are identifying as vaccine hesitant.
Focusing on teenagers is important because it's the primary stage young people learn how to adequately conduct research and distinguish between good and bad sources of information. The location we have chosen is northern New South Wales because child vaccination rates in this region stand at 1/3 of children in the area being unvaccinated compared to 5% of the rest of the country's children. This is because this area is a hotspot for anti-vaccination movements illustrated by protests during the pandemic and COVID-19 denial groups. Policies such as no jab, no play in preschools have only served to anger and isolate anti-vax parents. However, an introduction of a tax benefit scheme for families with vaccinated children has improved vaccination rates, but only slightly. Developing relationships with young adults in this community will support the bigger issue of digital misinformation and encourage informed health decisions, which is an important starting point for education around vaccinations and the pandemic.
Currently, the education system APRU, the Australian Curriculum Assessment and Reporting Authority, has a digital education program which helps students to develop a variety of digital and critical thinking skills. However, this curriculum does not teach students how to search for health information or how to assess its reliability. Our proposed solution will hence address this gap in the current education system and provide a basis for students to understand and engage with health information they see or find online.
Health literacy is defined as the degree to which people are able to access, understand, appraise, and communicate information to engage with the demands of different health contexts in order to promote and maintain good health across their life course. Therefore, health literacy is seen as essential to maintaining and attaining good health. As seen as the diagram, health literacy is highly connected to health outcomes. The model with which we have based our health course on is the Health Literacy Framework and also incorporates the learning objectives set out by the ACARA to ensure an evidence-based and robust curriculum which targets key learning outcomes and contributes to a sustainable model of knowledge transfer by including teachers, students, and parents in the learning process.
In order to address the COVID-19 infodemic in Australia, we have worked together to develop a health literacy module-based program aimed at teenagers. So here is our program. It is an online learning course that will consist of 5 modules. Each module will take 30 minutes to complete. Teachers and students will have access to the course by web link, and students will be supervised by their health teachers to complete the course during class time. We are proposing that the course will be conducted within the physical education subject as a part of the theoretical component of physical health, and approaching health as a more holistic topic beyond purely physical care. The online course developer will cost about $4,000 for 6 months for maintenance and data collection. Travel and meal allowances needed to be provided to our staff when visiting the school. As you can see in our module breakdown, these are the topics and content that we aim to address. The first module will be the introduction to digital literacy and problems with misinformation in the context of COVID-19. The second and third modules are more specific about COVID-19 digital literacy, where we will introduce the critical approaches to gather information, whether on social media platforms or official channels. The fourth module targets communication skills to deliver correct information in the real world. And the last module will be an in-person activity during the health classes at school. Students need to prepare for a 5-minute group presentation on one source of false information and one source of legitimate information, and present the facets of misinformation.
There are 3 components we need to consider when analyzing the success of the program: the individual, collective, and community elements. For the individual, we will have an activity-based component, which will be conducted in a homework-style manner, where students are required to complete approximately 10 minutes of self-study before the next module. For the collective component, there's a case study that helps students to practice literacy, application skills, and consolidate learning outcomes with others and facilitate the sharing of legitimate information with peers. Once the presentation is completed, the teachers will help to confirm completion of the whole course. Finally, for the community element, we will be working with professionals outside the school environment, including health professionals, digital literacy information experts, and information technology specialists to ensure any additional questions students may have outside the scope of the course.
The impact of our program will be assessed by 3 primary means. Firstly, before and after surveys distributed to both students and teachers will evaluate the impact of the program by assessing knowledge and understanding of COVID-19, digital literacy, and misinformation. Secondly, qualitative interviews and focus group discussions will be undertaken with various stakeholders across different stages of the program to examine the course content and delivery. Finally, the case study from the online program, which helps students to apply health literacy skills and collaboratively consolidate learning outcomes, will reflect the application of skills learned in and of itself.
In the short term, we would like to keep the focus on the Byron High School context and make the course accessible to their families. The sustainability of our program will be dependent on developing partnerships with communities, high schools, parents, as well as potential donor organizations such as the Australian government, NGOs, and digital education companies. These partnerships will help us to share the course with youth, and our ultimate goal would be for all high school students in Australia to integrate this digital literacy into their health curriculum. As an online learning course, the scalability opportunities are endless and can be adapted to other health contexts and issues. We would like to see the program expanded to other states and territories in Australia and be incorporated as a key learning outcome in schools all over Australia.
The total timeline for the development, release, and review of our program will be 2 years. Phase 1, which will be the first 6 months to 1 year, will be dedicated to planning and development. During this time, the team will develop all of the course content guided by the literature base in health and digital literacy. This will also involve engagement with key stakeholders in the Byron Bay High School, the community, parents, and students to inform and guide course development. Ethics approval will also be obtained through the University of Sydney Research Ethics Committee. The following 6 months will be Phase 2, the course rollout and data collection. Here we will provide ongoing logistic and online support to teachers as the intervention is rolled out. Phase 3 will be the last 6 months, where researchers will analyze data, write up findings, and share with key stakeholders of project participants, academia, and finally potential funding partners to support the ongoing development and expansion of the program.
This table outlines the numerous challenges we anticipate. The main concern is with the efficacy and the impact of the course. As you can see in the table, problems such as schools not prioritizing the course and students not applying their skills to the context of COVID introduces a problem of accountability on both the part of the school and the teachers. To address this, we are introducing resources such as official certifications which both the school and the student will receive on completion of the course, and our aimed connection with partners, health professionals, technology professionals, and outside sources also allows us to cater for advanced interest in the current COVID situation, if that occurs.
Through our health literacy education program with high school students in Northern New South Wales, Australia, we are keen to introduce a technology-based strategy that prevents COVID-19 misinformation and promotes better health outcomes. As the new cases of COVID-19 are still increasing all over the world, vaccination is a key step to control further health impacts. It is vital for global health practitioners to encourage adolescents and perhaps in the future for the general population to make informed decisions regarding COVID-19 infection and vaccination.
Thank
Thank you.
Is this thing on? Can you guys hear me?
All right, ready? Hello.
Why?
Dances. All right, everybody dance now.